I know I'm late to the party, but man, I couldn't help myself seeing that Donald Trump just gave Pam Bondi a little bit more time to research the stock market and talk about the stock market, use it as an answer when not even asked about the stock market. And Donald Trump also gave Kristi Noem a little bit more time to ride her horses and, you know, fly around wherever she wants to fly to. Now she's got a little bit more time to do that without the distraction of actually carrying out the responsibilities of her job in charge of DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Word on the street is that Pam Bondi actually wanted to stay and begged to stay, begged for her position, and Trump did this anyway.
Fired. You're 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 fired.
This is not surprising that Trump would fire someone that started out with him or that came in early in his term. Trump is known to fire people. Trump is known to fire his cabinet, and so there is going to be more of these firings. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Pam Bondi, but Kristi Noem, the record, the legacy that she leaves with the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, this record is going to be hard to beat. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars in spending, tax dollars spent, almost $500 million in these three things. Around $200 million on ads, advertisement, another $200 million on private jets, and then another $70 million on the luxury plane that she was flying around on tax dollars. With the taxpayers footing the bill. And at the same time, there were all of these federal investigations into contracts, questionable contracts about, who was actually making decisions inside of the DHS, and the way that she responded or the department responded to disasters. I mean, FEMA being a nightmare, and there was, upwards of $1 billion in question in contracts. And then you've got um, the immigration policies. That was that had to be the worst of the policies that she presided over, and the worst part of her legacy. And in that legacy of these masked maxed ICE agents who are unidentifiable, unidentified, and so citizens can't tell who they are, who were raiding communities. And initially, this was sold. The American people were told that ICE was going to go after the worst criminals who are here in the US illegally. And most Americans applauded. The majority of Americans applauded getting rid of the worst criminals who are in America illegally. But then ICE went out and basically started just terrorizing anybody and everybody. People who were just working, people who they did not have a criminal record. They just started going after all of those. And this is part of the legacy, part of course, Donald Trump's legacy, but also Kristi Noem's legacy as the cabinet member in charge of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. And one of the legacies that this department leaves, these ICE agents didn't just harass non Americans, they actually took the lives of, they murdered Keith Porter, Renee Good, and Alex Pretti. And these three, of course, Keith Porter, a lot of people don't even, um, there are a lot of people who are not even aware that Keith Porter was killed by ICE before Renee Good and before Alex Pretti. And I think a large part of it is because he's black. He doesn't get the level of attention that white American citizens get when they are brutalized by the American government. However, these three people all were killed by ICE, and Renee Good and Alex Pretti. Most of the country saw it. We saw the videos, and it's just unconscionable what ICE has done and what ICE has been doing and what ICE continues to do in the US, in America, and to American citizens and non American citizens. And this has actually impacted people in many different ways. These mass deportations that Kristi Noem presided over, that is Donald Trump's policy, are not only mass deportations, but they're also leading to mass incarceration and people being incarcerated in inhumane conditions, like those alligator jails or alligator prisons. Um, a lot of the private prisons that have ICE detention facilities are making record profits. Record profits. The CEO of CoreCivic, which used to be known as CCA, Correction Corporation of America was the name before they changed it to CoreCivic, actually said last year that they were expecting record profits that last year in 2025, and they're making big money doing locking people up, doing mass incarceration. Again, this is this is the legacy. This is the legacy that Kristi Noem leaves, and all of that waste. Do y'all remember Doge with Elon Musk? And again, goes to show Trump will fire anybody. Hell, he fired Elon Musk within months. And Doge was supposed to be the example of getting rid of waste, and instead, the administration actually ushered in $500 million of waste in the legacy um, that Kristi Noem leaves with the Department of Homeland Security, with all of those figures that I gave you. Doge fired a whole bunch of people, and the amount of money that they saved was nowhere near what they were supposed to be saving. They got rid of a lot of services and things like that, and here we are. We have now, Kristi Noem spending all of this money, wasting all of this tax dollar money on advertisement. Yet the majority of Americans do not have healthcare coverage. It's a lot easier to spend $200 million or $1 billion contract here, or $1 billion contracts here and there, to fly around the country and other places to buy these private jets than to actually provide universal health care for Americans. It's that much, and that is a waste of taxpayers' money to do something like that. And again, the legacy of waste, the legacy of brutalizing and murder of Americans. And of course, if Kristi Noem has a heart now, she has a little bit more time to also think about these three individuals who, even if she feels justified on the brutalizing of non Americans, these three Americans were, they lost their lives were taken, cut short by her department, by by ICE agents who were out and just being total agents of chaos, and not only agents of chaos, just doing things that you can't get away with. I mean, like going out with no warrants and things like that. Just, I mean, overrunning all kinds of people, overrunning everybody. And again, that's the legacy she leaves. And still, in the end, Donald Trump said to her,
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
and all of the investigations into the spending and all of that are still ongoing. Um, and just, I mean, the disaster response, the people who were impacted by these disaster responses are still um, reeling from those impacts. And so, again, now that this is a new thing, not that Trump doesn't fire his cabinet, not that this is the last. In fact, you can bet that within the next few months, Trump will fire some more people. He will fire some more members of his cabinet. Before the end of his term, he will definitely fire more members of his cabinet. But let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think of Kristi Noem's legacy as head of Department of Homeland Security and her firing? And should there be more investigations? And should there be more accountability? Leave me a comment, like, and share this video and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.